Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christie, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy, the recap. Today, we are recapping David Wooding. David wrote a book called 60 Not Out, and he's lived a pretty fascinating life that has led him to recognize that regardless of what life throws at you, you either learn from it or you fold in on yourself. And he chose to learn from it, and he's written this book that will help other people learn from what they've gone through as well. Because life isn't butterflies and bubbles. I mean, I would love to tell you that it is, but it is not. And I know sometimes people hear productive joy and they're like, oh, are you just this Pollyanna? Well, yeah, a little. And I am a realist too. But I do recognize that everything isn't butterflies and bubbles. But what we do get the opportunity to do is choose how life affects us. The good and the bad are both always there. And what we choose to focus on is 100% what we're going to see. So although it might be perceived as Pollyanna, what I am actually doing is looking for the good. Because I do know, in at least my heart of hearts, that if I'm not looking for the good, the bad will consume me. So our pastor actually talked about this recently, and he talked about, are we focused on the promise or the problem, right? So are we reciting the problem or are we rehearsing the promise? We have been promised better days. We have been given the opportunity to look for the good, but sometimes we rehearse our problems. Right? It's all the things that are going on that are less than desirable. And I don't want to rehearse the problems. That's a choice. I'm making that choice. Some people really enjoy living in it. And by it, I mean the muck, but I don't, right? So fun fact, we live near the water. We have a boat and we went out on our boat this recently and the water was gorgeous. I mean, it was kind of the color of this wall behind me, right? Like this beautiful, clear blue. But there was a murky section that would take us to more beautiful water. And my sweet husband said, let's walk through this. Well, I'm scared to death of the nastiness that lives in the water. I love to be on the water, but I need to be able to see what's coming for me. So I had to go deep into who I am to make myself walk across this nastiness. And it was the kind of murk that when you stepped in it, you sunk to your ankles. And I was struggling. But you know what? I came out on the other side and I kept my eyes focused on the pretty water that I was headed to instead of the stuff that I was standing in. Y'all, you're going to have to walk through some murky stuff and you're not going to want to, and it's going to scare you and it's going to be hard. But you know what? The clear water is ahead of you and you can choose to look at that instead of the murk that you're in. I really think that's what David was encouraging us to do, and that's what he encourages us to do in his book, 60 Not Out. I need you to understand that that's what I want for you with Productive Joy. I started this podcast because I realized that I have a very strong natural curiosity, and I love being able to share brilliant people with my friends. And I consider all of you my friends. I think that we are surrounded by some really great people, some really cool things. And if we don't talk to them, we're going to miss it. So one of the things that David talked about was in the grocery store, he will often gravitate towards the older humans that are in that grocery store. And he chooses to speak to them and not just a how are you, but he then listens to the answer to that question and goes deeper and says, oh, well, what's causing that? Or how are you feeling about that? Because sometimes we're the only person that individual would interact with in a day. I don't know what's going on in your space. I don't know if you're the type of person who talks to people in the grocery store or avoids them altogether. And I am not judging either person. What I'm saying is that we have a lot more influence over the ones that we do run into than we realize. And so today, my challenge to you is to figure out what your role is in that, right? So maybe they're standing squarely in the murky, nasty water and they can see the pretty, but they can't get there. What role can you play to help them go from the murky to the clear? What could you do with the people around you? Maybe this is your family, maybe these are your friends, maybe these are your coworkers. What can you do to get them from the murky water to the clear water? And then do it. That's the challenge. You can't know better and not do better. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. You can, but why? Why would you choose that? Instead, I want to challenge you today to choose to look for the clear water and push through the murk so that you can do fantastic things, not just for you, but for the people around you as well. Today on Productive Joy, I am hopeful that you're walking away going, you know what? She's right. I can do that. That's a little thing. And that little thing can make a big difference because it is the little things that make a huge difference. And you get to control your own destiny. So go for it and figure out a way today to turn fun into action.